You like very well written RPGs? Well, I have one for you right here. Disco Elysium. I'm telling you right now, if those words didn't capture you, you don't want to get this game. Review over for all of you that just left. For the rest of you, we are talking about this game right now. Currently on my second playthrough, going through the final cut now. Did the original first. I have a feeling I'm going to play this game at least one more time after I play it this time, the second time. The story has a beginning, middle, and end. There is a finiteness to it, but the way this game is built, you will want to come back to it. Standard RPG. You have a main character who has amnesia and is trying to pick up the pieces to navigate in the situation he is currently in. But here's where it gets funny. You're actually this uh, lost in the sauce, if you get my meaning. Party favor having, fun loving, disco police detective. The dude loves his extracurriculars. So much so, you start the game blacked out, face down, not having any memory of who you are, what you look like. You could actually go through the game without even knowing what your face looks like if you do things a certain way. I went through my first playthrough without my pew pew. I couldn't find it. I went through my first playthrough without ever having it. You can find it. He loses that in his badge. It's a bunch of kooky, crazy, reckless fun. And most importantly, they give you plenty of options to decide these things. You don't necessarily have to be this reckless, party loving guy. You could be a guy that's trying to pull himself up and away from that if you wanted. There are various stats you can start out with. They give you three main options. One is heavily more intelligent, one is heavily more intuitive and imaginative, and the last one is more physical, to give you an idea. And they give you a custom option where you can kind of play around with it yourself. All right, so what's the story about? Well, you've been tasked to solve an unaliving, a grisly one at that. A body dangling, I'm trying to use my words carefully here. Dangling in the backyard. Can I say that? I will see. But the funny thing is that body has been there for 10 days in front of everybody. And you've been face down for at least half of that time. When you're supposed to be solving the situation. But on top of that, there's a lot of layers here. This world that they're in is not like our own. I don't know if it's like an alternate universe or some kind of way far distant future thing or whatnot, but everything here is a bit different than what you'd expect. They have a whole hierarchical system, a whole economic and social system happening. There's a big labor strike going on, and the people that are running the labor strike aren't as scrupulous as you'd like them to be, but at the same time, they're striking against a group of rich fuddy-duddies that don't seem to be great either. Meanwhile, you're in this town, this war-torn town that has been set to crumbles in pieces because of this revolution that happened, I think, 50 years prior. The whole situation's a mess. Thankfully, you have the partner right here, Kim Kusaragi. I think I'm saying his name right. He's basically your steadfast right-hand man. Without him, you wouldn't be getting anything done. But at the same time, he very much silently judges you almost at every turn. As he should. Okay, gameplay. This is a detective story, but what's really cool is you're not just finding out pieces about this unaliving, you're finding out pieces about yourself. There are internal emotions you have to deal with, and they do directly affect the decisions and dialogue choices you make in the game. There's different clothing items that you can find that also affect these things. If you choose the creative stats at the beginning and you really bump those imaginative stats up, you can start talking to inanimate objects, including your tie, yes. But otherwise, to simplify this, it's a giant puzzle. You're finding all the pieces, as many as you can, and you are just trying to piece together what's going on. Not so much action. A lot to explore, a lot to uncover. Be ready for a lot of reading and listening, but the environment and the lore are so immersive. They are purely transportive in every way. The writing's so deep, so elegantly written, so much detail layered within just about everything you see and do. And it's weird because it's a top down game. So it's almost like you're playing through a painting, a weird painting, but a painting. Dialogue's a lot of fun. Right now, my wife and I are playing a playthrough where we roll the dice, and whatever the dice roll is, we choose that dialogue option because some of the dialogue it's really kooky. You can straight up beef it in this game and still manage to get ahead somehow. Somehow. I think the only thing bad about this game that I can think of is the ending is a bit, and I can only really speak to one ending, and I don't know how if other endings may work or if they're all kind of still the same or whatnot. But what I can say is I felt not disappointed by the ending, but it definitely didn't have the same impact to me as the rest of the game. So check this out, let me know what you think, and yeah, we'll talk later.